everyone, welcome back. We are going to be talking a little bit more on point slope form today and how we can use point slope form to do a little bit more. Okay, so just as a reminder, what is point slope form? Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, where m, remember, is your slope. Okay, so here's our slope, and then x1, y1 is a point on the line that we plug in. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is kind of go backwards, actually, is we're going to be given the equation of the line, and we're going to graph the line. So example number 1 says y minus 5 equals 1/2 times x minus 2. So we need to pull the information off of this graph, okay? So, or off of this equation. So we know a few things. We know, first of all, that our slope is 1/2, and then we need to find our point. So remember, in the equation is set up with minus sign. So that's really important to pay attention to so that you don't accidentally write down your points as being -2, -5. Our points here are actually just 2, 5. Okay. So when we write this, or when we graph this, when we graph this, we're going to start at the point because we know for sure that we go through the point 2, 5. So I go up to 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we can use the slope of 1/2. So that means I go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. Or I could also go down 1, back 2, down 1, back 2, down 1, back 2, and so on. And then I can graph this. And there is my line. You will also see from looking at this that I was able to identify my y-intercept. So if I needed to, I could also rewrite the equation of this line in slope-intercept form, because now I also know that my y-intercept is located at 0, 4. So my slope-intercept would be y equals, slope is at 1/2, and then so y equals 1/2 x plus 4. Okay. So let's look at this next one. Same idea here. So we have the equation y minus 6 equals -1/4 times x plus 8. So my slope is at -1/4. And then my point is at, so we'll see this right here. See how it's a plus 8? That means that this was actually x minus -8, right? So my x value is -8, and then my y value is 6, since it's a -6 and it's always minus. So my point is at -8, 6. So let's plot that. -8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My slope is -1/4, so I'm going to go down 1 over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Always make sure that when you are graphing with a ruler so we get a nice straight line. Okay. And then same idea here. We can identify our y-intercept. Actually happens to be the same y-intercept as the last graph. That is just coincidence, just so you know. So we could rewrite this as y equals -1/4 x plus 4. Remember, we learned in the last video too that we could also rewrite this in slope-intercept form by distributing and then adding the 6 over. So we don't have to depend on the graph in order to write it in slope-intercept form. Okay. All right. We're going to look at 2 more ways of writing point-slope form, and that's when we're given a graph and given a table. Okay, so when given a graph, you still need a point and the slope. Okay, so looking at it, I need to find 2 points. So there's one, there's one. Remember, you need to find where does it cross at exact points. I'm going to zoom in a little so you guys can see that a little bit better. So I have points at 2, 2, and then I have another one at 3, 7. Okay. My slope, so you guys can see that. There we go. My slope is, if I draw a little man, he's going up a wicked steep hill, but he's going up a hill. And if I draw my slope triangle, went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1. So 5 over 1, or a slope of 5. Okay, so now we have a point and a slope, or a point and a slope. So you can plug either one of these in. It does not matter which one you plug in. So I'll do it with both. So x1, y1, or you could use x1, y1. Again, either one. So if I do it with the first ordered pair, that would be y minus 2 equals 5 times x minus 2. Or you could have had y minus 7 equals 5 times x minus 3. So either one of these is going to be correct. Okay. And in fact, in a little bit when you do the U-try, I'm going to have you write both of them just so that you see that there's going to be 2 of them. Okay. I'm going to expand on one of these so that we see how to get it into slope-intercept form. And since this is the bottom one, I'm just going to expand on this one. So I'm going to distribute. So I have y minus 7 equals 5x minus 15. Add 7. Y equals 5x negative 15 plus 7 is negative 8. And if you look, obviously the y-intercept has to be negative because it keeps going. Okay, so this would be our slope-intercept form. All right. From a table, if you look, we have 4 ordered pairs here. 4 different ordered pairs. Okay. So what we need to do is first find the slope, and remember slope is the change in y over the change of x. So my change of y to go from 55 to 60, it's changing by 5. And if you look at this, every time it's changing by a positive 5. And my x is changing by 4. So my slope is 5/4. Okay. And then you can pick any of these points. It does not matter which one that you pick. Okay. I'm just going to pick the first one since it's the first one. So this would be my y, this would be my x. So y minus the y point equals the slope times x minus the x point. Okay. And then if I want to get it into slope-intercept form, and again, you could have picked this point, you could have picked this one, you could have picked this one. But distributing, and when I distribute, remember, you can use a calculator. So this is y minus 55 equals 5/4 x. So 5 times 64 divided by 4 is 80, and it's negative 80 because a positive times a negative. and then I add 55. So 5/4 x, and then negative 80 plus 55 is negative 25. And this is, again, this is my slope-intercept form. Okay, so we're going to have you guys try a couple. So first one, I'm going to have you guys graph it. You're graphing the line y plus 3 is equal to negative 2 times x minus 4. Okay, so if you need to look back at the ones that we did first, go ahead, look back, but I want you to graph that line now. All right, so key features. First of all, my slope is negative 2. Next, my point, the x is at 4, the y is at negative 3. And the reason it's at negative 3 is because this turned into a positive, which meant that this had to say y minus negative 3. So if I'm at 4, negative 3, and then I have a slope of negative 2 down 2 over 1, up 2, back 1, 2, back 1, 2, back 1, 2, back 1. It's going to look a little something like this. Okay. So then here's our y-intercept. So the y-intercept ends up being at 0, 5. So our slope-intercept form is at negative 2x plus 5. Y equals negative 2x plus 5. All right. Next one. You're going to write the equation in point-slope form and slope-intercept form for the given problems. And so for the first one right here, you're going to write it in both point-slope forms. Okay, so you should have 2 of them. Okay, and so 2 point-slope forms. I'm going to have you check it, and then the slope-intercept form. So go ahead. All right, so first let's identify the points. So I have 1 there and then 1 there. So that would mean that my points are at 2, 7 and at 4, 2. And make my little slope triangle. My slope, little man, is going down a hill, so it's a negative slope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. So negative 5 over 2 is my slope. Okay. So one of the equations could be y minus 7 equals negative 5 halves times x minus 2. That was the first one. The second one, you could have had y minus 2 equals negative 5 halves times x minus 4. Okay. Then when we want to put it in slope-intercept form, we distribute. And we get y minus 2 equals negative 5 halves x. And negative times a negative is a positive. 5 times 4 is 20. Divided by 2 is 10. Add 2. Y equals negative 5 halves x plus 12. And that's our slope-intercept form. Okay. All right, next one, same thing. Put it in point-slope form And then once you get it into point slope form, you can go straight to slope intercept form. Go ahead. All right, so first is slope, change in y over the change of x. So my change in y is going down by 2 each time, it looks like. My change of x looks like it's increasing by 4 each time, it looks like. So negative 2 over positive 4 reduces to negative 1/2. I'm just going to pick a point. I'm just going to do the first point. So y minus 52 equals negative 1/2 times x minus 24. Scoot this over just a little bit. Distribute. Y minus 52 equals negative 1/2 x. A negative times a negative is a positive. Half of 24 is 12. Add 52, and I get y equals negative 1/2 x plus, what is that, 64? Yeah, 64. And that would be my slope intercept form. All right. So just a little bit more on our point slope form equations. Okay, so if you have questions, you know where to find me. There's academic support. There is the discussion board, all that fun stuff. Okay, we'll see you soon. Bye.